Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing an all-time great in one of its most fetching case and dial combinations. This is the Lange Sohne Datograph, the first generation watch, 39mm, and this was a series built from 2003 to 2005 with the black dial and the rose gold case, also known informally as the Dufourograph. It's one of the precious few modern watches worn by watchmaking great Philippe Dufour that he did not produce himself. So a timepiece with real pedigree as well as a bit of a celebrity clientele within the watch industry. It wears easily on my 16cm circumference wrist. This is reference 403031. The watch is thick, 13mm, but not quite as thick as it appears, as it looks almost 15, 16. It's not. The timepiece at 13 will slide underneath the cuff, largely because it has that generously domed bezel, so a cuff will slide over easily. From lug to lug, it's not a large watch, nor is it terribly compact, but 47.6 is closer to traditional sizing than most modern timepieces. 39mm is the diameter, and the distance between the lugs, if you want to accessorize, is 20mm. Again, a 16cm circumference wrist, and I can recommend this watch for wrists as small as 13.5cm circumference. The fit is excellent, and so is the shape of these downward tucked lugs. The strap itself is a handsome Lange factory piece. You can see it's dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss, monotone stitch, generously bolstered. It is thick, and it features a bit of a sheer siding to the strap. So the strap body shows the layers of construction, and then on the bottom there is a calf skin to contrast with the alligator. You have this smart pin buckle design, which first and foremost features a little revetment for the pin inside the buckle, which I adore, but it also has a surprisingly sculpted exterior. As you can see, it features rounded off faceting, so somewhat nuanced, and then on the underside, two features that I adore. First, the bridge is arced up over the stanchions in the side, so the strap sits inside the buckle rather than underneath it and stacking up. And then you have this little retaining bar, so if you're like me and you're going to wear this on its smallest aperture, you're really going to tighten it down. Well, that little retaining bar prevents the tightly worn strap from getting stuck on your wrist. It doesn't get pinned, as it were, on the buckle. Smart design, aesthetic and engineered, but you would expect nothing less from the premier manufacturer of glasuta. A caseband that is nothing if not simple and handsome. You can see character lines formed by the junction of the bezel, the caseback, and the midcase, and then you have the lugs, which are fixed by screws. They look welded, but they are fixed by screws, and they're stepped out from the caseband to give them their own separate volume and sculptural body and presence. It's an anachronistic but effective look that Lange has made its own. Now, jumping into the dial itself, the first thing I should mention is that it's galvanized black, and we talked about the 3 model year production of this watch, but one common thread across the generations has been that the dial itself below the galvanizing is made of solid sterling silver, so the watch is a little bit heftier in the hand than a 39mm gold watch typically would be. You can also see that it's nicely dished with a Rayhawk outboard featuring a tachymeter scale, so you can gauge the speed of an object over 2 fixed points of a standing kilometer, and then it steps down from the Rayhawk to the dial center. It's a matte black. You can see there are snailed silvered sub-registers that feature rose gold polished chapter rings, and within they have their own calibration in black. You have a combination of stick indices and stylized Roman numerals, all in 18-karat rose gold, an 18-karat rose gold aperture for the double date, and of course you have that little pusher on the flank that is as crisp and satisfying from a tactile standpoint as the chronograph itself. And at center you have pinched alpha style hands with a beautiful counterweighted needle seconds, and the watch is loomed, so there will be a loom shot. Now, the watch also features hacking seconds, so I want to highlight that stop seconds feature here, and it is a flyback chronograph, so reset and restart with a single push of the reset trigger. Nicely made. You can see, turn the watch over, and this is where the fun starts. Some are into dials, but many, including Lange diehards, are into movements, and that's what you get. The famed caliber L9511. Lange watches were always beautifully executed, but this movement, debuting in 1999, is considered to be the caliber that generally forced Patek Philippe to rethink its standards of finish. 36-hour power reserve, manually wound, big slow-beating 18,000 vibration per hour balance. Stop seconds, it features the flyback functionality, and that's it in action. Lateral clutch, note fully jeweled lateral clutch, no corners cut right there. This is where bushings are generally used, even on luxury chronographs, even on many Geneva seal. Lange cutting, no corners. You can see the column wheel with its black polished crenellated caps and black polished screw at center. And you can see as I reset the chronograph, the recentering hammers fall on the heart cams at center. I can also engage and disengage, engage and disengage. You can see the lateral clutch moving into and away from contact with the center wheel. So this is a lateral clutch column wheel chrono, super slick and sharp. It's like a rifle bolt under the finger, and of course it has that flyback functionality. The finish is important because you can see a freehand engraved half bridge for the balance, many components including the cover to the lateral clutch, the cover to the escape wheel, and the swan's neck regulator, black polished, the highest standard of optical finish. There's satin graining across the levers of the chronograph, glasuta stripes across the bridges, jewels set in screw-fixed chaton pocket watch style, an homage to Lange pocket watches of the 19th and early 20th century. All of the screws that are used for physical assembly are blued. Those that are used for tuning mechanisms or making adjustments to the mechanism are black polished with chamfered slots. There's an engine turning across the base plate. Bridges and plates are made of German silver, as it's known, which is a nickel copper zinc alloy untreated with any rhodium, which is why it has that golden hue because of the copper. There's the engine turning across the base, and then if you turn it flush the camera, you can begin to see the edges of the lateral clutch, the chronograph components, as well as the bridges lighting up. That's the mirrored anglage, as it would be called in the Swiss watchmaking regions. I don't know the German word for it, but it's the same effect, and it's glorious. It has the depth and beauty of a machine that's designed to be seen. Double assembled, too, at Lange. Unimpeachable quality, 40 joules, 30 meters water resistant, adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer, L9511 in the original, a Lange Sohne Datograph flyback. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox.